Hello everyone, welcome to Piper's Notes. I'm Piper and this is my dad. Today we have a very special episode of Piper's Notes. Today we have the American Kaiju, Lindsay Snow.
Hey, Lindsay.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Shoot, good. How's it going with you? Looks like you're out training right now.
Yeah, I just got back from training not that long ago and just grabbed a quick bite to eat in between and about to head back to jiu-jitsu later. I had Muay Thai earlier and now I'm about to go train jiu-jitsu.
So you're doing Muay Thai, you're doing jiu-jitsu, you're a professional wrestler. Are there any other combat arts that you study?
Touch wrestling. I love freestyle wrestling. Pretty much like I love like all martial arts. A Kali, that's with the stick. Yeah, I love like all forms of martial arts. So I'm always interested in learning like a cool new way to beat people up. Pretty much.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. People who know me know that I'm like one of the biggest Lindsay Snow fans on the planet Earth. You're, I think, one of the best in the world, maybe the best in the world. And, of course, we were there and got to meet you at Mission Pro. We're going back next November or next month. I didn't see your name in the tournament. I wish you were going to be there. But I know that, we're going to see a lot of you. We're seeing you pop up in WWE, and you've got Bloodsport coming up, But we are not here to talk about wrestling. We're here to talk about many of the other creative pursuits that you're involved in and tied to. So I'm going to turn it over to I'm just the co-host. She's the host, so I'll turn it over to her and let her take it.
I can kick him off anytime I want.
Oh, hey, I'm happy. I'm happy to talk to you guys. You're great people. It was a pleasure to meet you at Mission Pro, and yeah, man, I can't thank you enough for all of what you guys have been doing for us, like all of like the promotion and just like being like genuinely nice people. Like it's really good to have that in pro wrestling, because I mean it's great to have anywhere, honestly. Like anytime you get to hang out with cool people, nice people, that is a plus. So.
Before you ask your first question, I have a shirt hanging up over here too. It's from 2015 Wrestle Jam here in Ringgold, Georgia.
Yeah.
And I portray a character on that. Our names are actually on the same shirt. I portray a guy named Robbie Roode. And there you are, Lindsay Snow on the same shirt. So that's pretty cool. I've got it hanging up here on my wall.
That's awesome.
You and Shannon Moore were here.
Oh, man. Good old Wrestle
Jam. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. What is the inspiration behind your name, the American Kaiju?
Okay, well, kaiju in Japanese, it means monster or strange creature. And if you look at me compared to like a lot of other male wrestlers, I'm definitely a strange creature compared to all of the other competitions I stand up against on a daily basis. And I'm from America, so the American Kaiju just like hand in hand. And I've had it since I very first started wrestling. That's what I've always been like through different gear, through wearing a mask. Through everything, I've always been the American Kaiju.
Now, does this suggest an interest in like Godzilla or King Kong or things like that?
Yeah. I love kaiju movies. Are you kidding me? I'm a huge sci-fi fan. I love mild swearing and sci-fi violence. I love lasers. I love like machines. Robots, like any kind of like cool like battle scenes, I'm all about all that.
Do you get comparisons? Because I think of you and I think of like you remind me so much of because you are very distinct and unique. But I think of like the Great Muta. You guys have a similar look and style, and I think of even like among American wrestlers, I think of like Sting. Painted up, and he just was always doing something to be unique and to kind of get a different sort of look across the fans.
I never get compared to those two, but those two are like two of my big heroes. Like Muta does the Shining Wizard, so like I also do Shining Wizard. But yeah, so I'm definitely influenced by them, but I've never been compared to them, but I've been compared to other wrestlers of the past, like Luna. That's pretty much people who people like to tell me that I look like or that I remind them of, which that is like the biggest honor that I could ever like to make people like, because Luna was like a force, man. Like she was like, you know, like you'd see her on the streets and you wouldn't mess with her, you know. Like, she was like, but then like she was also like a very, very sweet, nice person too, like behind the scenes. But like she had that look about her, like you didn't want to mess with her, you know. So that's why I'm like, I feel like that's like the biggest honor for me to if anybody's gonna compare me to anyone, if it's Luna, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Luna's great. We love Luna. She's fantastic. We also love, like, my wife she's been wanting to start working on her sleeve. She doesn't have a single tattoo. I've got one tattoo. She wants to start her sleeve. She's like, what if we get Lindsay to do my first tattoo? I was like, that would be freaking awesome, man.
Come on, let's do it. I'm down.
So since you like sci-fi movies, have you ever thought of like writing your own novel or acting?
I would love to act. I would love to be in sci-fi movies. I think that'd be like how you were saying, like the penultimate earlier. Like that would be like the highest. Like that would be like the highest of high for me, because like I grew up watching like really terrible sci-fi movies. I've actually been in a zombie movie when I was like just turned 18. I got to be in a zombie movie and get my head blown off. Pretty crazy. But that was like a really cool experience. That was like my first acting experience. And like I had so much fun doing that. And like it's also cool to like be able to portray another character per se, because like everybody's so used to me being me, you know, or like seeing me wrestle, you know, like whenever you talk to me, I'm obviously not trying to like beat you up, so I'm obviously going to be like a little bit mild mannered, but so like whenever you see me in the ring and stuff, like I am a different person, you know, than when you meet me, like when I'm not wrestling, you know. Mm-hmm. So like I feel like having the ability to channel that other like personality or side, I guess, I feel like that would help me with acting. I feel like I could really get into acting. I would not be upset about acting, especially if I got to be in sci-fi movies. Like, come on, are you kidding?
Was that Zombies versus Wrestlers? Was
that versus Wrestlers?
Was that the one you were in? Shane Douglas was in one, and we actually were driving him to the airport, and he was describing the zombie movie and all these talents that were in there. So I was wondering if that might have been the movie you were in. It was
that was like way before I even started wrestling. That was actually called Automaton Transfusion, and I was in that when I was like. Well, that was like 15 years ago. So don't you put that on me, man.
I'm gonna find it.
Okay. So, do you like anime? Because I have a follow-up question if you do.
Wait, what did you say? I missed that little part.
Do you like anime?
Oh yeah, I like anime.
Okay. Do you have any favorite anime films or shows or manga?
Graphic novels or something?
Manga.
Yeah, okay. So, like, as far as, like anime, I like Cowboy Bebop, I like, Vampire Hunter D, I like, for movies, I liked Akira a lot. Then, like, I really got into, like, Studio Ghibli. I'm not sure if you're familiar with like Spirited Away or like any kind of like movies like that are they're not technically anime, but they are Japanese animation.
Mm-hmm. Now you being a tattoo artist, again, you're so creative in everything you do. Have you ever thought about dabbling in doing your own graphic novels or anything like that?
Yeah, I have. I just don't have the time right now. Like, I have so much on my plate right now with wrestling. And then I have, okay, so to give you, like, the rundown of, like, a week of my life, basically, or like a day in a week of my life. If I'm tattooing that day, I will probably get to the shop around like noon or 1, tattoo probably until like midnight, then wake up the next day and then go start training. Like it's either like wake up at like 8 to get to Muay Thai at 10 a.m. or, got jiu-jitsu at like 11. Then, so it's like either wake up to go to punch people and kick.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. How do you consider wrestling to other forms of art?
How do I consider wrestling to other forms of art?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's totally up there. It's another form of self-expression. You have all these different styles of wrestling, just like you have all those different styles of art. Like you can have like different mediums basically. So I feel like the medium, like paint or like tattooing or like drawing. Okay, the medium are like those, right? But like wrestling, it's all one thing, right? But then you have these different people that portray different stories. So like the wrestlers themselves are the medium, like it's like, oh, okay, like that person, like they do stuff like a watercolor painting, or that person does stuff like an oil painting, like that's just how I kind of break it down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you were in school, were you a unique kid in school? Were you very artsy in school, or did you stand out, or were you kind of quiet and introverted, or how were you as a student?
Oh, dude, I've always been loud. Like I've always like you like see me coming down the hallway. Like I always dress crazy. Like I always I was always like doing weird stuff, like I always like had drawings on my arms and stuff, like coming home, like I draw like full sleeves on my arms like every day at school. And like it got to a point to where like the teachers quit telling me to stop doing it because they're like, oh, well, I know that if like, because we had like rotating periods, so like they knew like by the end of the day I was gonna have a full sleeve, no matter whose class I was in, I was gonna have a full sleeve drawn on my left arm at least, and sometimes I get bored and like if I wore shorts or something, or like, oh man, and like during gym class, like if we had like if they turned it into a study hall, I'd end up like drawing on all my friends. Like I drew like so many Tweety birds, dude, like so many Tweety birds and Tazzes. Like,
That's crazy.
Okay. How does? Oh wait, never mind. I'm 10 years old and I've been watching wrestling for my entire life. When did you start watching wrestling?
I started watching wrestling probably when I was just like a little bit younger than you. I think like I was probably in like kindergarten, first grade, when I first started watching wrestling, and my dad was the first person to show me wrestling.
Did you have a particular influences at that age? I mean, I know that you're very influenced by the Japanese strong style and those guys, but that probably wasn't available to you as a child. So who like hooked you?
The Rock, Stone Cold, those, and Goldberg. Like, all right, so I used to going back to talking about school. I used to like make my own folders because like we would have like trapper keepers and stuff like that. But like I used to like cut pictures out of magazines and then like put them on my folder and like glue them down and stuff and like tape over top of them, like make them look real pretty, But I would have like pictures of like these giant dudes on like The Rock, and I had like a whole Goldberg folder that had like nothing but pictures of Goldberg, and like it was funny because like all like the other kids in my class would be like, "Oh, let me see your cool Goldberg folder. Where'd you get that?" Like, I did.
That's cool. So usually at this point in the show, we'll stop and do a reaction to a music video. If it's cool with you, just because we want to spend a few minutes, we've got some more questions we want to ask you. I'd like to forego that part of it, but I do want to bring up the fact that you have been recently coming out to Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. And you have a very edgy look. It's not the kind of song that most people would like. You made a tweet the other day about Memento Mori, and I don't know if that was a deliberate Lamb of God reference or if you were being a little deeper than that. But I thought it was kind of a Lamb of God. So why the Relax? Where did that come from, and why have we been doing that here lately?
Okay, yeah, well, like I do, I love metal. I love, like, all forms of music, honestly. But, the memory thing was slightly, it's also, like, Thunder Rosa, like, she paints her face half Dia de los Muertos, and so it's like, all right, so the Day of the Dead, right, their whole thing is that remember that you too will die. So that's why they do the whole Memento Mori, like, half skull face, because it's like the reminder that you too will die. But then, like, I was listening to Lamb of God, and that's what made me think of it.
It's one of my favorite bands.
But then, I'm a fan. I love, like, I was listening to Bolt Thrower earlier, and I was just, like, having, like, a really great workout. But now, like, I've started coming out to Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Just relax, right? So it's like, all right, just relax. It'll be over real soon. Or, like, when we're done, you're going to need to relax because I'm going to throw everything at you.
Okay. Halloween is coming up, and I have to know, are you a fan of Halloween?
I love Halloween. Are you kidding me? It's the best holiday ever. like what holiday? Like, okay, so like besides Christmas, when you get to like dress up, right? But like Halloween, you get to pick whatever you want. You know, like Christmas is always like your parents telling you what to wear. Like, don't show up in shorts.
With that subject, what is your favorite Halloween costume?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know. What are you going to be for Halloween this year?
I was going to be Eliza Hamilton, but we couldn't get the dress. So now, then I changed into a cat, but then I changed into a witch.
Oh, so why don't you just be a cat witch?
Oh, because Tanya's already going to be a cat. My step.
Gotcha.
She's going to be my cat, and my baby sister's going to be my bat.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. You're set then. You're set. I usually make my Halloween costume. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm all about, like, last year I was Lobo. I'm not sure if you're, like, familiar with Lobo or not, but he's like a superhero, well, an anti-hero, kind of. But he's got space dolphins and, like, the whole, like, he's, like, a bounty hunter in space. And, like, the whole reason why he's a bounty hunter in space is so that he can feed his telekinetic space dolphins. Like, come on. Like, how great is this? So, I was Lobo last year, and I thought that was pretty fun. It took me, like, a couple of weeks to make my jacket, but I hand-painted everything. So.
Yeah, one year my mom, she made me a Maleficent outfit when she was a kid. And she made the wings, too, and, like, there were individual feathers. And she made me this big dress and horns.
See, I wish that people would still make Halloween costumes. That sounds so cool.
It was.
It's too easy now. You can just go down to the spirit store and buy one. But we try to, we're educated. We're teachers in our household, so we live on a budget. And we have to, scrounge around. But we just knew.
That's why I always made my Halloween costume, because like a couple of times, we did go buy Halloween costumes, but like for like the most part, like I always made it, just because it was like, I don't want to spend $100, or I don't want to spend because they're insane pricey at Spirit,
Yeah.
I like the store though.
Yeah, the store's creepy. It's cool.
I like the animatronics in there.
So do you decorate?
Oh yeah, do you get scared by them?
No, I just like to look at them.
Do you decorate your apartment or house? Do you add a piece every year, or do you go all out? There's this one lady on YouTube. She's an influencer. She's called Jade the Libra, and my wife loves her. But her thing is like she's all about Halloween, and we love Halloween too. I mean, it's crazy, but we add something kind of bigger every year to the collection. So, what's the Lindsay Snow house look like at Halloween time?
I used to decorate to the nines, like I have like every like Halloween decoration, but like the past couple of years, like I don't know what it is. I just haven't like really been in like the decorating mood. I've just like been training like all the time, and like life has been so busy. Like pro wrestling has been so busy for me. Like any time at home that I get, I'm just like I've been like and just, like enjoy like a little bit of like downtime because like sometimes so it's nice to just like sit back and kind of like relax if you get a chance to.
Right. So the home base for you is in Florida, and but you're not home very often these days. I mean, you are everywhere. It's like every time we turn around, I'm getting to, hey, did you see Lindsay Snow? Is that her on WWE? Is this her? It's like, yeah, that's her. She's going to be someone big. It's just, so you're not home very often.
No, not recently, especially since like pretty much like right before Mission Pro. Well, no, I want to say probably like a month prior to Mission Pro. I was like back on the road, back doing matches and like obviously safely. I was getting like COVID tested and everything like that just to make sure, and like I was taking like all the precautions with mask wearing and like like you gotta hand sanitize every couple, like every time like you go to a gate, you gotta like sanitize your hands, like can't touch anything. I don't know. I was like a super germaphobe because I didn't want anything to like mess up anything that I had going on in the next couple of months, leading up to Bloodsport, which like I've been looking forward to Bloodsport since Josh hit me up and asked me if I wanted to do it. I've actually been like wanting to do this since I walked through the curtain at the last Bloodsport after my match. I wanted to do this again, and that's what I told Josh as soon as I walked through the curtain. I was like, all right, man, when can I do this again? What's up? And so, like, I've just been I've been very able to get back on my grind, and it sucks not being able to be home a lot, but luckily most of the time when I travel I can bring my dog. So there's that.
So I am a theater lover. I want to do Broadway when I get older.
Oh shoot.
And so, are you a fan of any musicals? And if so, which one?
Yeah, I love musicals. I love theater. I love actually going to the theater to watch. Phantom of the Opera is my favorite. Hands down, Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Is that yours too?
That is her absolute favorite.
Good choice.
Yeah.
That one's like hands down my favorite.
Some of the best songwriting ever is in that musical. I love Music of the Night, Turn Your Face Away from the Garish Light of Day. I think those are like the loveliest words in all of musicals.
Dude, it blows me away. I have seen it live twice, and it was the same actual production of it. I got to go 2 times while they were in Tampa. And it was like the craziest experience to get to watch all of that live and to like see them change the sets in person, like not watching it like because like I've watched like musicals and stuff like from TV, but like you don't get like the same feeling as you do when you watch it. Like it's the same as watching wrestling on TV. You don't get the same emotion that you get when you get to watch it live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, before COVID-19 and we had to get quarantined, we went to New York and we saw Beetlejuice, Phantom of the Opera, and Rock of Ages.
Oh man, what? I'm still upset that I didn't get to go with you guys. Holy crap! That sounds like a great, a super great vacation. Shoot, I've never seen. Well, okay, the only Beetlejuice musical that I've seen was the one that they did at Universal. You know, like the daily shows that they would do at Universal. Have you ever been to that?
She's not been. Tanya and I usually go at Halloween. We usually go to Halloween Horror Nights out in California. So we've been a handful of times, and we're going to take her. She's starting to get. We were kind of, you know, we weren't really eager to introduce her to horror when she was younger, but now she's older and can understand it and be mature about it and everything. So she's at that age where we're like, hey, there's this great, amazing world of sci-fi and horror that you here, you know. So.
So funny story real quick about that. Like, okay, so I was the one that introduced myself to horror. When I was like 3 years old, I would sneak into the living room of my parents' house, and we used to have HBO, right? So I would sneak into their house, or I mean into the not into their house, but into their living room, and I would turn on Tales from the Crypt, and that was like my favorite show ever. And like my mom and dad wouldn't hear the TV going, and they like couldn't figure it out for the longest time why they would wake up and I would be in another room, you know, like why the TV was on either, you know. And they put the baby monitor up extra loud, and they heard me get out of bed when like I would climb out of the crib or whatever I was in, and I would just like mosey my little diaper butt down to the living room, and I knew exactly what channel HBO was, and I knew exactly where the guy with the creepy laugh was. So that's probably why I am the way I am, honestly.
The Crypt Keeper created the kaiju. So
yeah. He was my babysitter for a long time.
Okay. What is your favorite horror movie? Continuing with that subject.
My favorite horror movie? Is that what you said, horror movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, I have a lot of favorite horror movies, but probably my favorite is Tokyo Gore Police. Just because it's like it's out there. It's super out there. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's definitely it's very gory. It like touches on you from Japan, where like an arm gets cut off, and then all of a sudden you see like blood hoses like squirting out. You know, like that's the stuff I
like. We've got a. I know you're short on time and you've got to go. You got to go to jiu-jitsu and all that, but we've got a rapid fire session that'll take just a minute to do. But before we do that, I know people probably have to ask you all the time, like, do you know by count how many tattoos you have, and do you have one that's a particular favorite to you?
Well, you can't really see it. I gotta shave my head, but that one's my favorite. It's a jaguar. I don't know if you can make out what it is or not, but that guy's my favorite. I also really like the palms of my hands. I've got an all-seeing eye on that side, and then I got the ruby. I can't bend my hand. There we go. I got that guy on that side. This lady actually, she came up to me in the store the other day, and she was like, "All right, I know that like when you've got like tattoos on your arms and stuff, that it's called a sleeve." But then she was like, "What do you call what you got going on?" And I was just like, "Scuba suit." So cool. I'm just like trying to work on my scuba suit, man. You know, one big one. That's all I got. I quit counting tattoos when I started doing tattoos. Sure. So like when I was 17. So yeah, that's probably cool. Stopped counting at like 10 or something. I don't know.
Well, we're gonna wind down because we know you're busy, but we got just a series of like rapid fire questions we want to ask you. No thought, just go on instinct. All right, we're trying to get into the psychology of the American Kaiju here.
Okay.
So.
Oh man, be careful.
Backstreet Boys or NSYNC?
NSYNC.
Marvel or DC?
I'm gonna go with DC.
Jedi or Sith?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, Boba Fett, Stormtrooper.
She's an Imperial. Us too, by the way. Us too. We're sick.
Pepperoni or pineapple?
Pepperoni or
Pineapple.
what? Pepperoni.
Yeah.
Kind of psycho do you think I am?
Michael Myers or Jason?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Man.
This says a lot about you now, Lindsay. So
I know, it's either way I've got like issues with my parents. And I'm gonna go with Michael Myers.
Okay.
I'll go with Michael Myers.
Horror or sci-fi?
Horror or what?
Sci-fi.
Ah, dude, you gotta make me pick between the two. All right, I'm gonna go with sci-fi.
Okay. Salt or sugar?
Depends on if I'm on a diet or not. Because if I'm not on a diet, I totally love cake and sugar and ice cream and all that goodness. But right now, I can't have it. So I'm gonna have to go with salt. Like reluctantly go with salt.
Me too. I will go with salt either way because I get sick eating sweets.
Yeah, me too. Especially because like once I start, I can't. Like I just want to keep eating them.
Though my favorite sweet, which is probably the only sweet I like besides peanut butter M&Ms, are Smarties.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I respect that. I respect that.
Lady Gaga or Taylor Swift?
Oh, T Swift.
wow.
Swift all
Okay,
day.
really? I was expecting you to go Gaga on that. Okay.
I'd go
Okay.
Taylor Swift.
No,
Summer,
my niece loves Taylor Swift, so I send her videos sometimes of me singing Taylor Swift for her.
summer or winter?
Summer, because my birthday's in July.
I like winter.
I like summer. I like being
Winter-
at the beach.
Winter's nice because then your armpits don't stick to each other. So.
That's a jiu-jitsu issue right there. That's a combat sports issue. Well,
Well, I live in Florida too, so like anytime I go outside, it's like,
yeah, right.
gross.
Well, Lindsay, you've been very generous with your time, and we appreciate you hanging out on probably one of the weirdest shoot interviews you've ever done. But it's cool hanging out with you.
I loved it.
We watch your career with a lot of interest. I think you're one of the coolest, raddest, weirdest, awesomest, baddest women on earth. I think you've got world championships ahead of you. I think that Thunder Rosa better keep her eye out because we're all looking for Thunder Rosa, Lindsay Snow Part 2. And everybody who's got a title out there needs to watch out for the American Kaiju, Lindsay Snow. We appreciate you hanging out with us.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It was wonderful to meet you, Piper. And actually, that's my niece's name too. Weird enough that I sing Taylor Swift too. But anyways, it was wonderful hanging out with you guys today. And thanks for having me. Hopefully, we get to chat again soon. And hopefully, I'll see you guys soon too.
Oh, we will for sure. Take care.